All right. I'm going to try and give some little tips here. And everybody tells people how to do stuff different. You know, like whenever people are soloing at a song, I notice a lot of people have a lot of trouble. They'll get the minor scale down. They'll go to play a major scale. I mean, a song that needs a major scale, and they're like, "What the heck's going on?" You know, I can rock out on this and I can rock out on that, and how come it doesn't work all of a sudden? I'm gonna go ahead and start with let's start with an A scale, a basic blues A scale. Everybody knows that. You know, you start on the 5th string, the 5th fret on the E string, and you go 5 8, you know, 5 7 5 7 5 7 5 8 5 8, and everybody knows that. You've seen it in every magazine on the back, you know. Or whatever in the little order forms, you know, get my class, blah, blah, blah. You have to, of course, play them in the right fret for it to be the right note. And actually, there's a 2-1-3-1 trick that I use to figure out any scale, and I'm gonna cover that too. If I don't get to it in this one, I'll do it in another video. But and it's a trick where you can take one of your strings, and once you figure out the pattern, you can take this math 2-1-3-1, and I'll show it to you later, and you can diagram the whole fretboard out on a piece of paper. You know, well, I do it in my head now, but you can do it on paper. I used to do it on paper till I could visualize it. But anyhow, so let me get back. Let me not start just wandering here. Anyhow, let's get back to the filler notes between your basic blues scale that you see everywhere all over the world, and then it starts getting confusing. But anyhow, here we go. Here's your filler notes. Instead of this scale, we're going to take those notes, which in a blues scale, there's really only 5 notes, I believe. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, and then it starts over. Say 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, and then this note is the same note as that. It starts over again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it starts over right back where you can. So it's 5 notes and it starts over. And when it transposes up the neck, it's the same thing. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you some filler notes, and then later on when I go back to my 2-1-3-1 trick, it's going to make sense if I say it right now. You're just going to stop watching. You're going to say, heck with that. But anyhow, later, hopefully, it'll make sense. But anyhow, here we go. So this is going to be with your filler notes. You're going to go 5 7 8 instead of 5 8, and then instead of 5 7, you're going to go 5 7 8 again. Now on this one, you're going to go 5 7 just like normal. This one 5 7 like normal. And now when you get to this fret, instead of 5 8, you're going to go 5 6 8, and on the next one you're going to go 5 7 8. So what you're going to have here, you're going to have 5 7 8 5 7 8 5 7 5 7 5 6 8 5 7 8. So what you do, you just do that over and over and over. And I'll tell you what, I really do like this note, but that's for something later. But anyhow, so you got 5 6 7, I'm sorry, 5 7 8 5 7 8 5 7 5 7 5 6 8 5 7 8. So just do that over and over. Do that. Make that a nightly practice. Just like the guys they don't come out sweeping right off the bat. They have to do it every night. So here's what you need to do. So you've got this basic. Do that over and over and over and over till you can't stand it anymore. And then when you got it down, then add that one note. I said I shouldn't have brought up, but I'll show you why. But anyhow. Do that. just do it to where you're real comfortable, and you're going to stay in those notes. And I'm going to tell you something that's going to blow your mind in a little while. I'm going to tell you how to tackle a major thing, and it's going to be almost like you're going to have it 90% done, because we're just going to do some moving in a minute of the whole thing. Now, so here's your accent points. Like if someone's in the key of A, here's your accent, here's your accent, and there's your accent. So your accent is the 5th fret on the E, 5th fret on the other E, because of course it's the same. Everything's always the same on these notes, because on these strings, because they're all E's, or they're both E's. But anyhow, so there's your home notes. And the reason I'm telling you that is because in a minute when I show you how to do a major scale, it's going to make a difference, because your home note's going to change, but we're going to be doing the same pattern somewhere else. But here's your A. So that's your A, that's your home. And I'm staying in those notes the entire time. And here's a little roll, you just... And one other thing I didn't mention, these notes in between that you don't play that aren't in the scale, like this one and like that one, and because you're playing this, so that doesn't go in an A minor scale, but you can use them in as like a roll, or kind of like just a flash. In other words, like whenever you go and stop on the A, you can just go, and you can count those notes in passing, if that makes any sense. Of course, you know that all this transposes all the way down the neck, like. It's all the same notes, because once you do these notes and you get to there, which now is 7 notes, because I told you it was 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, now it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Because what we did is we added 2 sharps or flats, tomato, whatever you want to say, and that'll be familiar with you, because you know you got your 12 frets, and everybody tells you you have 7 notes and you have 5 sharps or flats, tomato, whatever, and that makes the 12 notes. Well, in a minor scale, there's 5 notes, and then they repeat themselves. And of course, you're saying, well, there's 5 notes in a minor scale, but there's 12 here. Yeah, but that's for the whole guitar. And then, you know, the guitar does minor scales, major scales, all kinds of stuff. So you can't count them all in every scale. But anyhow, the 5 notes, in other words, like if this was this is an A, because we're in the key of A, but if we were in the key of G, you know, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. That's for your minor. All right, so now what we're going to do, we're going to talk about the major. And when we talk about the major scale, this is what's going to surprise you. Remember, this was your home. You can go back and look. This was your home. I mean, and it's in other places too. It's all over. It's all over the neck. I don't remember offhand. I have to go through and count them, but what we're going to concentrate in is in this box, and these 4 scales made it 5 because we added this one. So 1, 2. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 scales we're working with. We're going to take that same 5 scales and we're going to turn this into a major league. And I'm going to show you how. First, I'm going to show you. We're in A. And then you go into. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just wherever I go, as long as I'm in the scale and I'm playing by the rules, I'm okay. You know, some's going to sound better than the other, but none of it's going to sound horrible because it's in key. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to take that pattern that I just went over, and we're going to make it an A minor. So, in other words, I'm using the fillers. but it's going to be the same scale, and I'm going to do it down here. I'm going to do it down here. All it is 12 frets up. But, all right, this is your A minor. Now we're going to make it an A major. And we're going to use this scale. We're going to move it down here. We're going to start here. 3 frets down. 1, 2, 3. We just moved it 3 frets down. Any minor, if you're playing an E, and move it down 3 frets. Now you're in an E major, and you're in an E minor. So either way, but here's what makes it work. And you're like, well, if you just move it like that, what the heck? How can it sound the same? Because you're going to have a different. What's the word I used earlier? I'm going to have to get steady names for these things. But the home chord, the bass chord, whatever I said the first time, whenever it was here, here, and here. Now your bass chord is going to be here because that's the A. That's the A. And that's the A. But we're going to move the A. Am I doing this right? Yeah. We're going to move the home chord to here. And you're saying, well, actually, if we were playing it in a minor, that would work too. But here we're in a major scale, and we're going to make this the home chord instead of this one. So what it's going to be in this box. It's going to be the G string, and we're on an A. But what's going to happen here is instead of doing stuff like for minor, we're going to rest here. So when we use that scale, it's going to change because now instead of you're going to be more like it already sounds different. And now but it's going to be the same scale. I can't do it slow. But anyhow, it's going to be the same scale. What am I doing wrong here? Oh yeah. That's the same scale. But now it's down here. And you're like, well, that doesn't make any sense. Well, it makes sense because this is our home here. There's our home here. And so, in other words, where you spend a lot of time. And I mean, this isn't the end-all rules. In other words, don't say, oh, what about this song or what about that song? I'm just talking in general, just so you get comfortable. But whenever you're playing your A here, rest on your A right. I keep wanting to go out. Major. But that's your major, same scale in a minor. Next lesson I'm going to cover some of these that I keep jumping to by accident. But in your box, anyhow, I hope that went a long way. So when I go on to the next one, it won't be so foreign. And of course, those of y'all that basically know this and been playing for a few years, just look at the next video or maybe the one after that. And I'll try to get into some more complex stuff. But I'm trying to think if there's anything else I've left out here. Let me try and get something to play behind.